great, we want to do all these good things, like, reforming education, all of that. What do you want, bro? Like, what do you want to cause a mess there? See, that's what we do. That's what we did in Latin America. Like what? I killed Jose Ruldos or something. Like, we go in, we overthrow people. Like what happened to Mossadegh in Iran? Why kill a democratically elected leader that only wants to do good shit for his country? What's the deal? And again, like, I've heard, like I said, I've traveled a lot too. And I think where it gets to why he thinks that way versus why a German who's like average worker thinks that no, German is better, right? I would argue right now, hell no. But like I'm talking about like 10, 15 years ago, right? Like, again, I think the US gives you the opportunity to be that 1% if you wanted to. Well, not if you wanted to, but you have the capability. If you're a little bit sociopathic, if you're like, if you got all the right things, like a cocktail, then you can probably get there. Other countries cannot give you that. And I would argue the reason they can't give you that are partially our fault too in the US.
Well, how do you mean?
I mean, we overthrow and, the democratically elected leaders, we cause chaos in the world. Like we are the number one terrorist of the world, no doubt about that. And the reason these countries are authoritarian is because they have to be. Because otherwise they're going to go in a coup or a baton or something like that, up there. I'm not going to talk about what happened to certain people, but like Gaddafi or others, right? And they know. And that's something that no one talks about. Like, I'll give you a quick example of country of Georgia. Country of Georgia is the most peaceful. Like, and I can talk about it because I'm from, like I said, I was born in Georgia. I know what it's about. Look at its history and tell me if they ever tried to conquer anyone, really.
Ever tried to conquer somebody?
Yeah, conquer somebody. Yeah. No, they are like, they've been conquered a gazillion times. They won the wars. Like, they lost the wars. Like, I mean, these people have been through everything, really. It's fascinating, like how they are still alive, how they managed to like have the gene they had, like this coding, right? Like without mixing it with that. Like it's incredible. But here's what happened just recently. So we are using Ukraine as a proxy, right? Like we are fighting through Ukraine, this war with Russia, so that we can weaken Russia and the usual warmonger shit that I'm so over and tired. Then we have the CIA working really hard to overthrow Georgian government who says, I'm not going to get into war. It's not my war. Leave me alone. They threatened the Premier Minister of Georgia. And this is like EU and the US and Brits, right?
Hey guys, if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It's a huge, huge help. Thank you.
Remember what happened to Fico? Fico got shot. Like, stay in line, bro. Or you will be dead.
This is on record that they've done this?
He came out and says they threatened to kill me. They told me, remember what happened to Fico? This is a country focused on Georgia. Like this government is focused on Georgia. They're like, we want to be great. We want to do all these good things like, reforming education, all of that. What do you want, bro? Like, what do you want to cause a mess there? See, that's what we do. That's what we did in Latin America. Like what? I killed Jose Ruldos or something. Like, we go in, we overthrow people. Like what happened to Mossadegh in Iran? Why kill a democratically elected leader that only wants to do good shit for his country? What's the deal?
Well, define good shit for his country.
Well, he wanted to nationalize stuff that meant that it would be good for the country, like oil and other things. And we didn't
nationalize it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
like so here's what we do. Let me explain something.
Yeah, that would be fascist. By definition.
So when CIA goes into the countries, they do something called like they want to do privatization of the assets, right? And they usually put it in the hands of very few people in the country. And the people that they can control. They did the same thing with Saakashvili in Georgia, like 2003 Rose Revolution. So they own everything, right? Well, how is that good for the country? When your biggest assets don't belong to people. How is that good for the country?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But the opposite that's not necessarily good either. Like so let me say, hold two thoughts at the same time. Imagine that.
Right.
I think the current Iranian regime is fucking insane.
Who brought them on?
And a disaster.
Who brought them on?
Hold on. I also think we shouldn't be in any way going out of our way to start a war and
Agreed.
overthrow their government, which is just playing right into the hands of the propaganda that wouldn't then be propaganda because it'd be exactly what it looks like, that would make people say, well, maybe this isn't so bad. If you really believe that something is wrong, and like the Iranian people don't like their government, I agree with them on that, they're going to have to overthrow it themselves or do it
Couldn't
themselves.
agree more. Couldn't agree more. That's exactly what I'm trying to say here. But we don't allow that, though. Here's the thing. We don't even overthrow, per se, the dictatorial governments. Somehow, the record is sometimes we do. But if you look at the record of the overthrows that we know about, there are probably plenty we don't know about. But the ones that we know about, I mean, most of them are people who just said, I'm not going to be your puppet. I'm going to do something for my country. You might want to read a book called...
Economic Hitman.
Yes.
I saw where you're going with that.
Yeah, so like, but it's true though. He's absolutely right. And how do you think that goes down in international politics? And here's what people don't understand. Everything you do in other countries backfires and comes back to you. Like, international policies are very much like a boomerang to our domestic policies, right?
Yes.
I'll explain something. So foreign countries, how do you think they lobby us into action? Like, tell me your opinion, and then we can take it from there. Like, why do you think that other countries do have an effect on our Congress or Senate?
I would imagine, if I'm being very broad with my answer, where it's economically feasible for us to continue our, ability to wield power economically and therefore just in general around the world, then, we'll look at it even if it's actually not going to help with that. We just convince ourselves it does.
So you're saying that, like, foreign countries lobby you to, like, help me understand, foreign countries lobby you to, like, keep the power overseas, like that?
They lobby you in a way that makes you think, oh,
you have power over us and we'll do whatever you want. Is that what it is?
No. Because there's a lot of different countries that could be used as an example for this in different contexts. What I'm trying is, I want to be clear so that I'm not convoluting people out here. I'm saying that our bureaucracy is so high on its own supply that when another country, which is fucking every country around the world at some point asking for a favor.
Couldn't agree more.
Minus, probably like China and Russia. But like when another country comes to us asking for a favor, we look at it like fresh meat, like, ooh, what can we get out of that? And how can we actually like advance our economic interests around the world, even if that's not how it's going to end up going down. That's what I mean.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
Thank you guys for watching the episode. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and smash that like button on the video. They're both a huge, huge help. And if you would like to follow me on Instagram and X, those links are in my description below.